Marijuana is legal, but that does not make it safe for our teenagers who are in a period of rapid growth.
Some researchers are concerned that using marijuana as a young adult can have harmful and long-lasting effects on their health and well-being. KUSI's Danny Roberte has our story. Danny?
Sandra Allen, the brain doesn't stop developing until the mid-20s. It goes through dramatic changes during that time. That's why researchers are worried about young adults who use marijuana. Could it make it difficult to think and problem solve? Could they have issues with memory and learning? Researchers are conducting a study that'll try to answer some of these tough questions.
Their friends are doing it, so I think the peer pressure is just there, and it's kind of become the norm because everybody else is doing it.
It's starting early. Community leaders who hold interventions say they're talking to sixth graders, 11 and 12-year-olds, about the dangers of marijuana.
We know that it starts at a young age, and then we want to catch that and have that early intervention preventative part before it gets to the addiction part.
But there's still a lot of unanswered questions, like how marijuana impacts a child's brain. That's why Joanna Jacobus is working to get some answers.
The adolescent brain goes through a lot of changes, and we also know that this is a period of life where folks potentially could be vulnerable to developing some problems in their life.
She's part of conducting a study that will follow nearly 12,000 9 and 10-year-olds in America as they grow up, studying their development and what makes a child healthy in the long run. They're also going to take a look at the impacts of marijuana when their developing brain is most vulnerable.
For typical development, using cannabis or any other substances, alcohol as well, has some negative consequences and could negatively impact brain development as well as behavioral functioning.
Folks in outreach programs say marijuana is the drug of choice for young adults, and some kids are using it anywhere from 5 to 15 times a day.
We don't know what that does to their brain. We don't know what that does to dependence and withdrawal, and either do they. So I think they start thinking it's just going to be harmless, and then it turns into something more serious.
They say they see students who actively use cannabis lacking motivation.
It's kind of a domino effect. They're not going to school, they're not getting what they need, therefore their grades are suffering.
School leaders tell me they're dealing with a different beast. More students are using vaping pens like these ones and edibles, which are easier to hide when they're on campus. Their concern? They say most students don't even realize products like these ones are in THC than they even realize.
What we're starting to see with some of the liquid THC products that are available that can be vaped, or some of the edibles, the THC content is upwards of 80, maybe even 90%.
Ultimately, with this study, they're hoping the results will allow them to create specific interventions that'll help the people who work closely with our children, and also a guideline or a standard for normal brain development. And this is something that'll be similar to what exists for normal height, normal weight, and other physical characteristics.
All right, Danny, thank you. Well, also, we want to ask one other question here if we get back to it. How long will the study last, and what are they going to do?
Yeah, they're going to actually follow these children around for the next 10 years. So you have a 9 and 10-year-olds. It's going to take it until they're about 19 or 20. So this is a large-scale, long-term study, but I'm told that's what's needed to answer these questions. They're going to do annual MRIs, check in with them, and also ask them about what kind of substances they're using. And they're just following their habits. It's going to take a while, but hopefully this will be able to shed some light on things that's going to help all of our children in the long run.
So very important.
Yeah.
Danny, thanks.